The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone the tyre of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa. Welcome to the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, which once again forms part of the Extreme Festival at Zwartkops Raceway. Join us for round 1 of the final round, round 10, around this tight and tricky track. The dogs came out to play, and so did the riders in this penultimate race for the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup season. Spectators flooded into the Zwartkops Raceway circuit in their thousands to witness the action firsthand. Final preparations were underway as always in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, the riders preparing themselves and their machines for the action that was to come in race 1. Time to make sure those Bridgestone R11 tyres are nicely up to temp and the pressures set correctly. Time to make sure those Kawasaki ZX-10R machines were fueled correctly as well. And time to make sure that you, as the rider, had plenty of energy. And that came courtesy of Red Square Reload. Daryl Barrington, in dire need of a Red Square Reload, lying down on the floor preparing himself mentally for race 1 here at Zwartkops. The number 65 of Stewie Christie also getting into the game with a quick power nap, while the rest of the riders and mechanics were all preparing themselves and their machines with that last minute preparation. Time to stretch, time to focus, time to suit up. The fight though wasn't only out on the racetrack this weekend. In the final round, it was also a fight against cancer, and the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup family, along with SunBet Cares, came together all wearing pink shirts to show their support in the fight against cancer. All donations and proceeds from the sales of the shirts would be going to the South African Cancer Association. The time for talk was over. Time to put those helmets on. Time to put those gloves on. Sifiso Temba getting into the zone. So was Ian Harwood. A big thumbs up. Graham from Midar looking to end. He's here on a high. So was James Barson with a friendly wager against teammates, the number 117 of David Faringa. The riders made their way out of pit lane and took to the track for yet another thrilling race in the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup season. The sighting lap, the riders getting to grips with track conditions, with the machines and with themselves. Who would take top honours in the first race of this final round? Could anyone stop the dominance that has been Clinton Sella on his King Pass Extreme Kawasaki so far in 2024? "22 riders on board 22 Kawasaki ZX-10R motorcycles, all fitted with identical Bridgestone R11 tyres, made their way to their grid slots for the penultimate time of asking in the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Tensions were high, and although Clinton Sella had already wrapped up the Class A and overall championship for 2024, the B Class and C Class championships were still up for grabs. Who would take top honours in their respective classes? Only time would tell. Graham from Midar looking at wrapping up that Class B championship, and Johan Leroux, although being absent due to injury, was still holding a commanding lead in the Class C championship. It was Clinton Sella on pole position yet again though, followed by Damien Purificat in second, AJ Fenta in third, Han McMahon in fourth, David Enticott in fifth, Graham from Midar in sixth, ahead of David Faringa in seventh, James Barson in eighth place, Perron Parasiman in ninth, ahead of Byron Rothwell in 10th, Christian Caravello in 11th, Eddie van Dahl in 12th, Renatus van der Kerk in 13th, ahead of Dieter Huisman in 14th, and Sifiso Temba in 15th. Jaya Cruz in 16th place, first of your veteran riders, ahead of Ian Harwood in 17th, Stephen Golgotti in 18th, Stewie Christie in 19th, Raymond Gill in 20th, Hench Kalen in 21st, and Daryl Barrington rounding out the grid in 22nd position. The riders took to their grid positions for the start of race 1. Lights on, lights off, and it was a great start from pole position from Clinton Sella. Second place man Damien Provocati bogging a little bit off the line. So not a great start once again from Damien Provocati as the field made their way through turn 1 into turn 2. A move on the inside from the number 10 of Perron Parasimon. A fantastic start there from Perron as he picked up the number 15 of James Barson as the riders made their way onto the back straight. We take a ride on board with Hench Galen on the number 69 machine. A fantastic start from the veteran rider. As you can see on the inside though, riders going around his outside into turn 1, heading into turn 2. He was also on the outside, so not the optimum line there. Riders will take advantage, as you can see on the inside. A couple of riders on the inside of Henk there, but a great start nonetheless from Henk. At the front, though, it was still Clinton Sella ahead of AJ Fenta. In third place, the number 1 of Graham from Idar, while in fourth place, Damien Provocati with a lot of work to do after that bad start by his standards. And just behind them was the number 78 of David Enticott. Further behind the field, heading off the back straight, was Adi van Dalen ahead of the 88 of Christian Carvello, Dieter Huisman as well. And that looked like a move. On his outside was that Sifiso Temba on the outside going up the hill of Dieter Huisman. Graham from Idar now dropping back under pressure from the number 821 of Damien Provocati. And not far behind them was David Enticott and the number 4 of Han McMahon. All sorts of shapes sideways was Clinton Sella heading into the final corner. He was already starting to pull a gap on AJ Fenta and Graham from Idar and the rest of the field who are making their way through now into the final corner here at Zwartkops. A fantastic first lap from the number 10 of Perron. He was ahead of James Barson and Adi van Dalen on the number 469 machine. As the riders made their way down the main straight, it was still Clinton Sella ahead of 39 of AJ Fenta, who was in turn ahead of Graham from Idar, who had managed to close that gap down very slightly. He was ahead of Damien Provocati, David Enticott, Han McMahon, the number 117 of David Feringa, and that was a move on the inside from the number 15 of James Barson on the inside of Perron Parasimon and heading into turn 2. So a great move as he looks to get his claws into the number 117 of David Feringa up front. The number 4 of Han McMahon having yet another sterling ride. This is a track that Han knows very, very well. You'll remember he had some great results here, great lap times in our previous visit earlier on in the year. So Han will be expecting quite a lot in this race. The juggernaut David Feringa was now in a lonely 7th place ahead of 8th place man James Barson, who drew his utmost to try and catch the number 117. The number 88 of Christian Carvello, not a great start. He has lost tabs with that leading group of riders, so a lot of work to do from Christian Carvello, but we do know he has the pace. Out front though, the number 39 of AJ Fenta had started to pull a gap on the number 1 of Graham from Idar, and there was now a queue of riders lining up behind Graham, trying to make their way past. Further down the field, as the riders made their way into the final turn, it was the number 37 of Byron Rothquell holding off the number 88 of Christian Carvello, while back at the front, Damien Provocati trying every which way possible to get past the number 1 man, and he had the number 78 of David Enticott behind him, and that's a move at the end of the back straight from Damien Provocati. So after that poor start, Damien now finds his way back up inside the top 3, and he looks at chasing down the number 39 of AJ Fenta. Han McMahon had now made his way into 5th place ahead of David Enticott, and the number 117 of David Feringa, the juggernaut, was looking at closing down the group of riders ahead of him. The leaders made their way into turn 1 to start yet another lap, and the number 117 of David Feringa, sporting a new livery for this weekend after that crash last time out in Cape Town. Graham from Idar on the number 1 bike, unfortunately losing his overall title this year to Clinton Sella, but he was still looking at finishing off 2024 with a bang and clinching that Grand Masters title, that Class B title. So he would be looking to get as many points as possible here in the first and second race. AJ Venter coming under a little bit of pressure from Damien Perfecati, who is now looking at closing down the number 39 man as he stretched away from Graham from Midor and Han McMahon behind. That's David Enticott and of course David Faringa doing his utmost to keep tabs on that group. Another lap done and dusted in race 1 here at Zwartkops, and it was still Clinton Seller with a commanding lead out front ahead of AJ Venter getting closed down by Damien Perfecati. This battle for 4th place, a three-way battle, included Graham from Midor, Han McMahon and David Enticott. And lonely second place so far for AJ Venter as he made his way onto the back straight here at Zwartkops. But Damien Perfecati was keeping the pressure on, keeping AJ Venter on his toes. As further down, David Faringa ahead of the 15 of James Barson. And this battle, Adi van Dalen, Perron Pereseman and Christian Carvello, they had now stretched a little bit of a gap to Byron Rothwell, who was having a lonely ride. So was the number 70 of Dieter Huisman, who was hoping to be a lot further up than he was. Speaking about further up, and no one was further up in the field than the number 11 of Clinton Seller, the King Price Extreme ZX10R rider, proving once again why he is a multiple South African champion, absolutely dominating here at Zwartkops, setting lap record pace as well. Behind Seller, the battle for second was now heating up nicely between AJ Venter on the 39 and Damien Perfecati on the 821. Damien had done a great job of getting his doors into AJ Venter as AJ has a quick look behind him heading up the hill. And Damien was now putting pressure on AJ. So that was a nice battle for second and third places respectively. While behind them, Han McMahon had now managed to get his way up into 4th place ahead of Grant from Midor in 5th and David Enticott in 6th place. So second place was still AJ Venter on his True Van Volt Market ZX10R ahead of Damien Perfecati on his Amalgam Welding and the Left Racing ZX10R. Heading into turn 1 was a battle for 9th place, and that was currently led by Perron Pereseman on the number 10 bike, just ahead of Adi van Dalen, Christian Carvello just behind them. So that was a great three-way battle, and behind Christian was still the number 37 of Byron Rothwell. After that poor start, he was doing his utmost to try and claw his way into this battle for the top 10 placings. Out front though, the battle for second was heating up nicely between AJ Venter and Damien Perfecati, with Clinton Seller quite far up the road. In 4th place, Han McMahon, a great 4th place, still under pressure from the number 1 of Grant from Midor and the 78 of David Enticott. 9th place was in the hands of Perron Pereseman, who was pulling out a little bit of a gap, having an amazing ride in 9th place. He was pulling a gap on Adi van Dalen and Christian Carvello, who was scrapping behind him, costing himself time, and this was allowing the number 37 of Byron Rothwell to close in as well. A tight line into turn 2 from Adi van Dalen, who was trying his utmost to keep Christian Carvello behind, while the number 37 of Byron Rothwell was having a great comeback through the field after that disappointing start. In the latter stages of the race, the field had spread out nicely, with groups forming and battling throughout the whole field. And one of those groups was out front, and that was the battle for second place. And that was still in the hands of AJ Venter, who was keeping Damien Perfecati at bay. The number 821 after that poor start, he had to make his way through, and a move on the inside at the end of the back straight. But no, AJ Venter closes that door on Damien Perfecati. But Damien gets a drive up the hill, looking for a move at the top of the hill. Super late on the brakes there, and AJ Venter managing to hold Damien Perfecati off. So a great ride by these two riders for second and third place here in race 1 of the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. As AJ Venter and Damien Perfecati started yet another lap, they had nothing for the man out front, Clinton Seller, and this was now a battle of pride, a battle to see who would take that second position and who would have to settle for third. Sophie Sotemba having a great ride in 17th place, You'd be wanting to be a little bit further up than that, but his lap times were in the 107 bracket, so very impressive there from Sifiso. And the number 69 of Henk Schkeling. Henk, not a lot of practice. He just rocked up and he does what Henk does best, and he puts his bike in the mix. But unfortunately, getting lapped now by the front runners, so he would have a lot of work to do come race 2. But out of the last corner, it was once again Clinton Sella taking a dominant victory here at Zwartkops for the final round of 2024. AJ Venter with a great ride to second place, holding off the intentions of Damien Purvocati. A great comeback from Damien Purvocati. While this battle here was raging on, we ride on board with Byron Rothwell. That's Christian Carvello ahead, and Eddie van Dalen running wide at the top of the hill, allowing Christian to get that inside line. So a great move on the final lap. Only a few corners left for these riders with Eddie van Dalen, but he's back on the inside. He was looking to do that, but Christian Carvello super late on the brakes, and you can see Eddie van Dalen running wide, allowing a sniff for the number 37 of Byron Rothwell. But no, it wasn't to be, as we see Henk Schkeling with a few issues there on the side of the track. Knowing Henk, he was most probably just disengaging the traction control to do a couple of stand-up wheelies. But a great ride from Clinton Sella, the number 11 man, come number 1 next year. Can anyone hold a candle to the number 11 come race 2 here at Zwartkops? Great rides throughout the field though. Veteran riders Ian Harwood and Stewie Christie waving to the crowd. A great 4th place from Han McMahon, 5th place for Graham from Idar, and 6th place for the number 78 of David Enticott, the number 10 of Peron Perassaman with a fine showing here in race 1. The number 117 getting the better of James Barson in their own little personal battle and wager there. The number 57 of Renatus van der Kerk, a great ride despite a poor start, while the number 70 of Dieter Huisman with a great ride. He would be wanting to be a lot further up than that. The number 33 of Raymond Gill with Ricky Moraes by his side. A fantastic ride for the veteran rider Jayo Cruz, Henk Schkeling, Stephen Golgotzi and Sifiso Temba setting some impressive lap times here in race 1. The riders made their way into Park Ferme to grab that well-deserved ice-cold red square reload, get those energy levels up, because they'll have to do it all again come race 2. Ian Harwood with a great ride. Peron Perassaman, a lot to smile about. A well-deserved red square reload there for Peron after that great performance. Han McMahon with yet another great 4th place for the number 4 man. And cheers to Stewie Christie with his ice-cold red square reload after a great performance from the crafty veteran rider. Daryl Barrington, no lying down on the job then, Daryl. You still got race 2 to do, so best you gulp down that red square reload and get ready for race 2. Clinton Sella with yet another dominant performance in this year's 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. David Feringa, the juggernaut, with a great performance as well. Eddie van Dalen having a chat to Johan Leroux, who is still recovering from injury, trying to find out what he could do better to improve his position come race 2. Sifiso Temba with some great lap times there, but he'd be disappointed with the overall result. So looking for a lot more come race 2. Tongue out for James Barson, who would have to put it all out on the line come race 2 if he is to beat David Feringa in their own personal little battle. Andre Venter, the man behind AJ Venter's great turn of pace and success, riding AJ's bike back down to the pit lane. It was Clinton Sella, though, who walked to victory ahead of AJ Venter, Damien Purvocati, Han McMahon, Graham from Idar in 5th place, one step closer to the Grand Masters Championship. David Enticott in 6th, David Feringa in 7th, James Barson, Peron Perassaman in 9th place, ahead of Christian Carvello in 10th, Eddie van Dalen in 11th, Byron Rothwell 12th, Renatus van der Kerk in 13th, Dieter Huisman in 14th, and Jayo Cruz, first of the veteran riders, in 15th. Raymond Gill took a great 16th place ahead of Sifiso Temba in 17th, Stephen Golgotzi in 18th place, Ian Harwood in 19th, Stewie Christie a great 20th, ahead of Henk Scaling in 21st and Daryl Barrington rounding out the field in 22nd place. David Enticott, the number 78 man, how was your first race there? It looked quite hot and grueling.
It definitely was, eh? Temperature at the moment is pretty hot. I wouldn't say it was unbearable. They shortened our race, which upset me a bit. I wanted to do the full 12 laps. Started in 5th place and I ended 6th. Got stuck behind Graham and Slucky. Slucky was on it. Graham made a few mistakes here and there, and I made a couple of mistakes following him, unfortunately, and just lost the toe. But had a really good race. Super happy.
Great stuff. Well, best of luck for race 2. I believe it's 12 laps now in race 2.
Isn't it 14?
Hopefully 14.
Let's do 14.
Let's do 14. Why not 16? Or just ride until the fuel tanks are empty.
That's a good idea.
And the Bridgestone tires wear out, which actually will be about a couple of weeks.
We came a long way from Cape Town, so it would be nice to do all the laps.
There we go. Best of luck.
Thanks very much.
The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone the tire of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa.